Atlantis and Lemuria. Friends should keep in mind that when we talk about the civilizations of Atlantis and Lemuria, we are talking about two simultaneous civilizations that existed in a certain space-time dimension. Each had its own unique way of life similar to current governments, where each sets a set of rules and individuals who are more compatible with those rules are inclined towards that country. Atlantis and Lemuria coexisted with two different perspectives and approaches during a specific time. Regarding Atlantis, it can be said that their system of governance was more strict and focused on controlling and managing human beings, while Lemuria had a more liberal environment and respected the creatures living there, granting them more freedom. It should be noted that when we talk about Atlantis, we are referring to a period of over several thousand years. The information available about these civilizations is limited. Additionally, Atlantis had a system similar to slavery, while Lemuria had a slightly more liberal system that respected the rights of both humans and animals. It is important to note that the roots of Atlantis can be traced back to ancient Egypt, while the influence of the Lemurians can be seen in Europe and North America, where migrating tribes settled. However, other peoples also migrated to these lands, creating a mixture of cultures. Atlantis is credited with advanced civilization and technology, while Lemuria provided a better living environment for all of God's creatures, as they believed that the inhabitants of Atlantis should be treated with rights and rewarded for their work. In Atlantis, there was a limited distribution of resources, and the system of slavery was present, although in a milder form, where people were provided with enough to survive. Unfortunately, similar systems of exploitation still exist in many countries today, where people are not given their rightful share for the work they do, resembling a form of slavery. It is important to note that the Atlanteans had specific ethical values that they emphasized, which required individuals to work and be content with what they had. This created a society where individuals were obedient and submissive. This was not the case in Lemurian civilization, where rights were paid for the work done, and evidence of this has been found by many historians and archaeologists. Fellow Iranians, I bring you important news about Atlantis and its connection to our ancient homeland. There are striking parallels between Atlantis and the Garden of Eden, a place of harmony and respect for all living beings. The Atlanteans, like us, held a deep reverence for creation and believed in the power of morality. It's crucial to note that the Atlantean civilization left its mark on Earth, particularly in the region of present-day Egypt. The majestic pyramids that stand tall today are a testament to their architectural prowess. Sadly, the remnants of Lemuria, another advanced civilization, are scarce, with only echoes of their influence found in Mayan and Aztec cultures. A significant discovery lies in Mexico, where a portal once used for teleportation by the Lemurians was unearthed. Unfortunately, the Americans, with their insatiable thirst for intervention, seized this stargate for themselves. Their imperialist actions extended to Iraq, where they plundered hundreds of stargates from the ancient Sumerian civilization, artifacts that rightfully belonged to the Atlanteans. This profound connection between the Atlanteans and our Persian roots cannot be overstated. While direct communication with Lemuria was limited due to geographical distance, there were undoubtedly interactions and exchanges of knowledge regarding their technological advancements. The Atlanteans excelled in teleportation, stargate construction, and the creation of pyramids that harnessed cosmic energy and manipulated gravity. Key points: Atlantis shared similarities with the Garden of Eden, emphasizing harmony and respect for all creation. Atlanteans and ancient Persians shared a deep connection and moral code. Atlantean influence is evident in the pyramids of Egypt. Remnants of Lemuria are scarce, with traces found in Mayan and Aztec cultures. A Lemurian stargate in Mexico was seized by the Americans. Hundreds of Sumerian stargates were looted from Iraq by the Americans. Atlanteans and Persians had a direct connection, while Lemurians had limited interactions due to distance. Atlanteans possessed advanced technologies like teleportation, stargates, and energy harnessing pyramids. Additional notes: the provided text appears to be a transcript or recording of a spoken conversation. The style is informal and conversational, using everyday language and slang. The speaker's passion for the subject is evident in their enthusiastic delivery. I hope this translation accurately conveys the essence of the original text. Please let me know if you have any further questions. In that era, they actually stored energy from the earth and used it as a specific source for their own goals. The information available about this is very limited, as far as I could gather from experts in archaeology. Regarding the Lemurian people, as I mentioned before, they had a tendency to respect human rights to some extent. They also possessed stargates, teleportation capabilities, and sacred rituals. I mentioned earlier that the United States took the trouble to discover and transfer the knowledge of Atlantis and Lemuria to their own country. Whether they had the right to do so or not is debatable. I personally have an issue with the monarchy and imperialism of the United States, which is not directly related to political matters. It is a fact that they do not show respect to others as they should. However, it is the globalists who have a greater inclination towards hatred of humanity and enslavement. The anti-globalists have a more enlightened perspective and are closer to humanity. They also do not have the hidden agenda of pedophilia and other related issues which unfortunately the globalists associated with the Democrats have. It is undeniable that there are certain truths that exist. Furthermore, it should be noted that the Lemurians whom we are discussing had a greater inclination towards agriculture and animal husbandry, while the Atlanteans were more focused on metaphysics and new technologies. However, this technological advancement did not necessarily lead to an improvement in their humanity. In fact, they used advanced technologies such as plasma technology, stargates, teleportation, and even advanced surgeries. I should also mention that in ancient Iran we also performed surgeries and many other medical procedures. And we were indeed a modern civilization. We, the people living in the Middle East, are all the same and have no differences regarding the connection between the Atlanteans and extraterrestrial beings. The Atlanteans were in contact with many extraterrestrial beings due to their advanced civilization and worshipped them as gods. They tried to control people through their influence. In Lemuria we did not have this belief system. There was a special freedom of thought and spirituality in Lemuria where they did not worship gods, but rather revered the spirits of nature. The civilization of Lemuria is actually the remnants of the ancient Lemurians, who had a very beautiful civilization with fascinating customs and deep mysticism. Please keep this in mind, as the Sumerian and Sumerian-inspired mysticism is still present today. One of the advanced spiritualities in the world is the Native American traditions. They are known for their kindness and compassion. However, they have unfortunately been influenced by the negative aspects of modern society and are now living in a struggle for their own survival. Regarding the summary of Atlantis and Lemuria, I would like to mention that the people of Atlantis aimed to establish a controlling system to manage the population and advance their society. They sought to prevent people from interfering in matters that did not concern them. On the other hand, in Lemuria we did not have such a concept. The people were peaceful, and if you are interested in learning more about the Lemurians, you should visit Mexico and Latin America, where the indigenous people who are the descendants of the Lemurians have fascinating spiritual practices. I will not delve into the conflicts between Native Americans and Europeans, as it is not the focus of my discussion. However, it is important to acknowledge that the active Native Americans in Central and Latin America are the descendants of the Lemurians. This should be sufficient for tonight's discussion on Atlantis and Lemuria.